Welcome. In this video we'll be exploring some of the key aspects of informative and persuasive text, noticing their differences and similarities. This video is meant to serve as a brief guide and introduction to ways of analyzing informative and persuasive text. We'll first look at some of the defining features of an informative text and what differentiates it from a persuasive text. Then we will explore two examples in detail. Informative text's primary function is to convey information to the audience. An informative text should be objective, clear, and unbiased. By looking at an example of an informative newspaper article, we will be able to examine some of the key features of informative text in practice. The article we are looking at today, Inherit the Wind, Dinosaurs Blamed for Changing Climate, employs many of the key language features found in informative texts. The author uses a simile to compare these dinosaurs to cows, making the concept understandable to the modern reader. The author uses descriptive and subject-specific language to communicate the information to the audience. The author references and quotes directly from scientific sources, adding weight and legitimacy to their claims. When quoting from a source, the author is sure to list the source's full credentials. The author concludes their piece with another quote from a scientist, referencing the findings of their research project. This adds further legitimacy and authority to the author's piece. When comparing persuasive and informative text, it's important to keep in mind the key difference, and that is that an informative text is conveying information about a topic, whereas a persuasive text is the author's opinion on a topic that has more than one possible perspective. The language employed in an informative text will be objective in nature. It will be calm and clear. The language used in a persuasive text may be emotionally charged, hoping to appeal to the reader and get strong reactions. Unlike an informative text, the main purpose of a persuasive text is to convince the audience of the author's point of view, not simply to pass on information. By looking at a movie review, we can see some of the tactics employed in trying to convince the audience. We'll look at the movie review for Men in Black 3. A common tactic employed in persuasive writing is humour. In this article, we see the humour and exaggeration employed to make the point that there was no public demand for the third movie. The choice of words with specific connotations, such as messy, overbearing, and loud, build in the reader's mind an image of an unpleasant experience. Repetition is often used in persuasive text. In this case, the author is insinuating that the movie will soon be forgotten. As with informative text, persuasive texts often use fact to support their argument. In this case, the author has used the fact, the start date of the movie, and then attributed his own reasoning to catch a tax break to that fact. The author has interpreted the information available to support his argument that this was an ill-planned movie. Rhetorical questions are often used in persuasive text to get the audience to think beyond the words written on the page. In this review, the author states speculation as fact, thus not allowing an alternative view to even register. In the conclusion to this piece, the author uses a metaphor by referring to the entire film as a screensaver. A screensaver serves little function besides looking pretty, and as such, the author's view of the entire movie can be summed up quite succinctly. This brings us to the end of the video. I hope that you found this useful and that you have a lovely day. Goodbye.